there are all sorts of different breathing patterns and practices that have a very specific intended effect on both your psychological and physiological state of mind to either downregulate, calm, ease your nervous system, or upregulate, agitate, energize, activate. So you could literally just choose the technique and whenever you wanted, change your energetic state and also change the way that you respond to things like stress. Now, at a time where pretty much every day, and at some point every hour of my day, was causing me stress, breathing became this incredible thing for me. I started to develop the practice of a style of breathing that would help me down regulate things and come to an easeful place. That has changed over time, but I still have now as part of my morning practice, a breathing technique that is designed to bring me into a very spacious, open, grounded place. Simply, and I do this not because I wake up stressed now. I do it because it creates the foundation for a day that allows me to step into it from a much more easeful place where I feel like I'm coming into my day in a grounded and open way. Now, that particular practice for me revolved around extended exhales. What we know is that science tells us is that the length of our exhales in particular is key to upregulating or downregulating our state. Because I generally like to downregulate, I like to start my day in a calm, grounded place. I started a simple practice of extending my out breath or my exhale. So I would lie in bed and I would just close my eyes. I generally often put one hand on my heart, one hand on my belly. It just feels energetically good to me. And I would take a breath in, just a natural inhale, pause for a beat at the top, naturally, nothing forced. And I would try and exhale for about twice as long as I inhale. And then just pause for a beat at the bottom and cycle through that. Again, nothing forced, nothing contrived here. And what I started noticing was that the more that I did that, the more I could start to slow down the entire process. So instead of breathing in for a second or two and then breathing out for 2 or 3 seconds, it would start to slow to breathing in for 3 seconds or so, and breathing out for 6 seconds or so, and breathing in for 4 or so, and breathing out for 8 or so. And then I started to rely on a very specific type of yogic breathing called Ujjayi breathing, where on the exhale, very softly narrow the back of your throat, the way that you do if you were saying ha or and then you do that, but you close your mouth and let it come out through your nose. So it's more like, again, very easeful, not in a straining way. And what that does is it allows you to much more deliberately regulate the depth and the length of your exhale without causing any additional strain. And I started using that as a technique. And it also gave a bit of auditory sensation to the out breath. And that sound, the slow extended exhales, along with the sound of it, started to become a bit of almost a mantra that my mind could be drawn to. So I'd inhale, and then I don't know if you can hear that on the mic, but it has become a years and years and years long practice and a habit for me. Yes, I do different types of breathing now, and I have all sorts of different patterns that I mix into my day. My morning habit actually has an even more extended version of that now, where I extend the pause between the breaths. I call it teardrop breathing, and you can check that out in more detail. But what I would invite you to do is run this similar 7-day experiment. I never ask you to just believe anything that I'm offering up front. What I want you to do, run the experiment yourself and see how it makes you feel. 7 days, right? Just take a few minutes in the morning and then just slowly breathe in comfortably. You don't have to do anything to sort of manipulate it. And then see if you can slow your out breath. So it's about twice as long as your inhale. Do it just for about a minute or two, right? again, if you want to then go back to the GrowthDay app and journal, do I feel any different after doing that? And then do it again the next day. And after about 7 days, you'll start to notice, well, it feels kind of good. So I'm just going to go a little bit longer. Maybe I'm going to extend those out breaths a little bit longer. And then just keep journaling around that and see, does it feel easeful? Do I feel relaxed? How's it making me feel? And look back over the pattern over time. Let your own experience be its own proof.